we've looked at this problem forever, and a number of years ago, we came up with basically three metrics that we use, which are kind of the KPIs in our space, which were a big gap for a long time. And we kind of break it down to three things. Number one is what we call the health of the test. So it's a health score. And what it's really looking at is two sides of a coin. One is, are testers testing everything? So are they going through and actually using the product and testing all the features that you want tested? And do you have evidence of that? Two is, are they then giving you actionable feedback on the things that either didn't meet their expectations or went above and beyond their expectations? And again, it's the issues, the ideas, and the praise. It all boils down to that. So if a test has achieved both of those things, it has full coverage, it's widespread coverage of the product, everything's being tested, and you're given clear instruction to fix the issues that were found and address the shortcomings that were found, then you've got a high health score. And then that's an important starting point to know that, okay, we've sufficiently tested it. Has nothing to do with the results, has nothing to do with what they found, but we have tested it, we have confidence in our test. The next score leans on that one, and it's what we call a success score. And what that's doing is looking at the product from the eyes of the customer and saying, okay, on a scale of 1 to 100, how happy were they with the result? And if you back into the things that I said we were collecting, we can use those to figure it out. We're sort of rating and providing a score for every piece of feedback. Not all feedback's created equal, right? A security issue is typically much more important and severe than a cosmetic issue. We're looking at those things and we're saying, okay, if everything was praised and there were no issues and no room for improvement, which has never happened, but it's theoretically possible, you've got a very, very high success score. If you had no praise, everything was issues, everything was shortcomings, then you've got a very low score. The reality, and this is why the score is useful, is always somewhere in between. It's this outcome of, okay, we know there's some good things, some bad things. We know where we are. What that then gives you is a target point to say, okay, we got a 60, right? And our goal was an 80. And I'll touch on that goal in a second. What our goal here is then to give you the instruction for how you need to get that 80, to show you exactly where you need to go. And then the last core metric, and this is another really important one, is looking at the difference between what that score would have been had you just released the product as is, and what that score is, recognizing that you fixed bugs, you implemented new ideas, whatever it happens to be. And then that shows you the impact of that testing effort. And all three of those scores become beautiful KPIs because they're things that you can take simple tactics to improve. Improving your engagement, improving your product itself, and improving how you respond to and address issues in that product. So the goal is that as a company, you're typically doing releases over time. You're doing, again, if you're agile, you're doing releases bi-weekly, monthly, whatever makes sense for you. So that number becomes a touchstone. It becomes a benchmark that you start to get to know, and relative to your product, you can have targets that are relevant to your organization, right? If you have endless money and you want to invest to be perfect, you can do that. You can spend a lot of money to get a really, really high score. If you understand that the market impact of this product is limited, it's an experiment, whatever it happens to be, you might have lower ambitions, but it provides those touchstones to get you through that.